Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So, here we are with part 2 of episode 2. So, I've actually managed to get the data up here, which is very nice. This is going to be really quite handy for us actually to take a look at this information, as you can quite well imagine. Imagine. I don't know why I said that. Right. So, let's see, what stands out here? Obviously, the lack of vehicle points. But that's not too much of an issue. I do believe we are expanding vehicle. Are we expanding vehicles? I can't remember if I did that. I think I might have gone with some small expansion. But we should have it within the actual economic budget to actually expand vehicle production. Vehicles, obviously, like armored... Yeah, like armored vehicles, obviously like other support vehicles. Oh, thanks, Carl. That's really nice, man. Now, I'm thinking about doing some, possibly some Aurora 4X after this, see how long the stream goes on for. But yeah, it's really nice to see you as well, mate. Okay. I'm really happy we get to talk about the data. This is where I really enjoy this. I mean, this is going to be great. Hello there, Mega Corporation AI. That's a great name. Right. Hello, SCT. So we can see here we obviously did look out and destroy a ship, as well as the cruiser mine layer Kungwo, which I'd imagine was probably a Chinese vessel, which is rather interesting to see it there. Must have escaped somehow from China. We can see here where our task forces have been spotted. We're roughly aware of which ones have been spotted, but of course it does depend on whether the actual task forces in question were able to spot the, I don't know, let's say for example, a float plane of the Americans or Allied forces. So this isn't exactly 100% accurate. But it gives us a rough indication of what has been spotted. So for example, we are going to draw further away from Hawaii. Well, at least from Pearl Harbor with the submarines, we did see a lot of destroyers coming out of there, as well as cruisers. The cruisers we could hit. I mean, taking out the destroyers is probably would be very nice, I'd say. Okay, so you're packed at Osaka, Kyoto, Kobe. This is good. These are things that we need to really keep an eye on. The 10th has reached their destination at Fukuoka. Or Fukuoka. Okay. Tokyo. Tokyo as well. Hong Kong. Yes, this is where we'll be beginning the actual attack on Hong Kong. But the question is... I think we may wait for the attack on Hong Kong. What I mean by that is we'll bombard. But we'll wait for the 2nd division that we have en route. Then we can begin a deliberate attack. Aurora is like one of the Pacific AE, but you are allowed to build your own economy of fleet. Yeah, definitely looking forward to C+ version. Well, C hashtag, whatever the hell it's called. I mean, I did an Aurora series a while ago. I've done 2 Aurora series, actually. One of them was over 100 episodes, but that was when I had absolutely no idea really what I was doing. But man, that was a long series. And I did another one some time later, actually. Yeah, the Oilers, they're not so much in danger. I suppose they're in danger from where they are in terms of proximity to enemy contacts. I forgot to put them on full speed, so the Oilers are behind Kiributai. But I think what we'll do then is we'll have them link up with the carriers Akagi and Zakaga. We'll be able to link up with those guys. And yes, we are all good to go with sending Kiributai towards the carriers, should we choose to. What's up there, Luba? How you doing, my friend? Indeed. Right, continue going through here then. Plenty of engineers. Yep, so here we go. We can see that these are the forces that have arrived at Hong Kong, which is great. 38th Division. You do want them supported. So I think we will begin just bombardment for the time being. These guys have been packed. Okay. You can see we're doing a lot of movement here. A hell of a lot of movement. Definitely. Leadership increased. Very nice. This is the 7th Sentai Squadron, so that's actually very encouraging. We'll have to look at that squadron and really take a look at them. Okay. Yeah, these look like actual squadrons, don't they? That's good news. Let's take a look then. That's good to see that the RTA division has been packed. Very nice. The 7th has been packed at Pescadores. So that's really good news. We'll be able to start shipping them out really soon then. Let's take a look at the actual industry then. This is where we really need to take a look. So as you can imagine, obviously things aren't going to change too dramatically here on turn 2. However, this is indicating we need an increase of 6 in vehicle production. I'm not entirely sure what the numbers actually mean in brackets, otherwise. Then again, let's see. Is this how much we produce in a year? I'm not sure about that one, we'll have to get back. Or is this our total number of points? It could be the total number of points actually, that would make a lot more sense. Possibly. But like surplus production. And let's take a look at the actual chart. Right, so we can see here. Let's just take the calculator, I will just work this out. So the merchant yard, for example, 807 required. Sorry, 436 required. How much does that leave us with? I'm not going to do maths on screen, so I'm just going to do it via calculator. Yeah, so that leaves us at 371. Okay, fair enough. We'll have to work that one out later. I'll have to look on the actual track website and just figure out what that means. Well, this is very encouraging. Indeed. Yeah, I'm quite happy about the heavy industry. That's a very encouraging result there. So we have 6,325 points of heavy industry remaining. This one is required. Either way, we'll increase the vehicle production. Try and bring that up. I'd imagine that's probably what is required. This seems to be the number of points that we have. Let's take a look at the resources within Japan. Okay, so we've used a lot of supplies here, as you can imagine, obviously from the expansion. Fuel usage isn't that bad, but you can see here from turn 1. Let's work out how much we're using. The resource usage in turn 1 was much higher, well, turn 2. Turn 1 to turn 2, I should say. We'll do the math there, work out our actual amount of resources that were used. Okay, so we used 72,000 tons of resources in that turn. Well, that was the deficit there, really. Obviously, that's not the total amount that was used, but that's the actual deficit. So that is the resources that we were not able to replace within Japan. Okay, and then turn 2 to 3, we only use about 17,000 tons of resources. That's nice, that's encouraging. Of course, we're not really bringing in convoys with resources of yet, but we might have had some nearby. I doubt that. Right. But by heavy industry. We still have 130 days of fuel at Tokyo. Resources is what I'm interested in. Yeah, I mean, this is it. Our convoys aren't even... Well, they're not flowing as of yet. We do have, of course, like, some ships that will be returned to Japan itself. But I don't think any of them will be loaded as of yet. I doubt that one. We just need to keep these numbers as high as possible. For now, we have enough resources. We have almost 2 million tons of resources at Tokyo. We really do need to increase that. Yeah, so 7.2 million tons of resources in Japan itself. And we produce about 276,600 tons. However, we're using 279,100 tons a day. Now, the ship in here is indicating 83,999 tons. So that might be all of the convoys loading up, obviously totaled. Up there, Sam, how you doing, my friend? Considering Vanguard Japan is the only region you have, I suppose, that you haven't. Okay, just to understand the question. It's only showing Japan here, which is obviously because this is like our home soil. We can see, right, good question, I'm trying to figure out how to actually... trying to think how to explain it now. You're right, it is only showing the data for Japan. I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to remember how you actually show it from the other regions. You can do that. Right. Resource factory. That's a good question. I actually can't answer why it's not showing data for other regions as of yet. Normally you should be able to see it. Right, here we go. That's better. Resources. Is this still showing? Right, okay. That's showing other islands. I can't actually answer that one. It's a good question. We'll figure that one out as we go, actually. It's not a major issue. I can figure things out pretty easily anyway. Maybe a setting that I've not changed here somewhere. That's fine. We'll figure things as we go. Right, here we go. We can at least see non-mainland. Yes, that's it, the region. That's what I've not done. Regions. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to have to look at that. I forgot what you do with that one. I do have it set up for the other campaign, for the other tracker, to look at the other regions. So that's what I'm missing out on. So that's well pointed out, actually. I completely missed that. And so I'll fix that after stream. And I do apologize, I'm getting caught up in my words as per usual. Always happens. First stream. Always happens. Right, so what I want to take a look at now is the actual production. This is great, actually. This is actually going to give us a really nice indication. As we can see here, that was a very heavy usage of vehicles. We take a look at the chart. Yes, of course you can see that manpower is obviously going down. Naval's going down obviously because we've reduced that. Or is that heavy industry? Maybe heavy industry. Then heavy industry, let's take a look here. Okay. Oh no, this is heavy industry. Okay. Remove manpower, naval and merchant. So this is the armaments, this is vehicle production. Okay, so we do need to actually increase vehicle production then. That's good to see. Well, it's not obviously a good thing, but at least we know what we're doing. This gives us the amount of resources in bases, that's good. Okay, superb. Very, very nice. Amount of resources in LCUs? Or is this the amount of supply in LCUs? Or is this the total number of LCUs? That's for supply, total supplies, fuel. Supplies, fuel, oil, resources. Okay. Let's take a look at the actual air production then. See, there are elements of the tracker that I'm not completely familiar with as of yet. Over time we will become significantly more familiar. When I say I'm not professional, I do mean it. I do make mistakes. Oh dear. Right, let's take a look. So building is what we're looking at for now. Was it 1.6 that we were producing per day? I think this was about 5... Yeah, this was about 56 as of the term before. So production is starting to increase already, which is fantastic. Good, very good news. Supposedly 22 A6M2 zeros in the pool. We'll obviously be taking a look at that, but this is a good sign. The losses this turn have been significantly different. You can see here the loss today was 1. So it gives us an average. So the average so far is 19 per day. Obviously, as the year goes on, that average will ideally decrease. That's what we want. We did lose a lot of zeros in that first day, and that really did concern me. But we'll be able to replace those, no issue. If anything, it should lure the Allied forces into a false sense of security. I can't really explain why we took such heavy losses. Up there, Chris, how are you doing, my friend? Okay, let's take a look at Nakajima A35 production. This is very important to us. So we are looking towards 700 total, though we may increase that in time. I really want the R&D benefit. We are looking at potential usage of 727 engines. So of course, if we're producing over that, that would be the goal. We might up that to about 800 engines, though we'll see. We will see about that. Yeah, we are using these. So the models of aircraft that we really want to have increase are, of course, the A6M2 Zeros, the Ki-43IC Oscars. The Nels to a degree, I do have a decent amount of them in the pool. Of course, I would like to keep the pool. I'd like to have a pool of all my aircraft, just because then at least then we can have reserves sent out to squadrons. I would like to increase the amount of H6K4s that we're producing. We're only producing about 7 a month here. I think we might increase our production. I'm looking towards actually phasing out the F1 M2Ps, the E14Y1 Glens. I'd like to replace them with the Jakes. I'm going to produce Jakes. We do have that, okay. We do produce a decent amount. We're almost producing 1 per day, which is good. Very nice. About 28 a month. And we currently have 33 of them in the pool. Okay, so if we were to replace all of them, we'd need 104 roughly. Give or take. So then, JC Destroyer. Not much. Just a lot of faffing about to begin with. I'm always terrible when I first start. Right. This is something I definitely need to pay more attention to, the pilot training pool. Now, of course, I can go over here and I can look at, let's see. IGN. Training. Then we can sort by secondary mission. No swordfish as of yet. Of course, also see the actual amount of patrol percentage. But let's actually get into the game then, shall we? Okay. We do know that we have loaded the 7th Tank Regiment over here. That's good. Supposedly. This is indicating that it's still loading. But that may be due to it loading supplies. Let's take a look. Right, they've been packed, haven't they? So they haven't been loaded as of yet. Okay, so they've started loading, so we can estimate probably a day or 2 until they're loaded up there. Right, important distinctions to make. So let's actually go over what happened in the second turn then. So of course we have our landings over here. We did have a very successful bombardment by Megami Mikuma Suzuya, as well as Kumano. So it was very effective, very welcome as well. We will continue that with a second bombardment. What range do we have them set to bombard? Then again, they could actually do with rearmament. What is the rearmament called? That's the question here. What we can do is I've got the manual right next to me, so I'm going to bring the manual. In a second. We just need to look at the actual size of the gun, and then we can figure out how much it's going to cost us to actually rearm that. That's be 2 moments. Come on, tell me, I'm just looking to the back. It's pretty good actually. It gives you like a list of all weapons, which is really nice, as well as the rearmament. And find some ships that can resupply the ammo at sea. I don't know if there's any ships that can resupply underway. I know we will have ships that could resupply at a port. At least aid in that. So we're looking for the 20cm/50s. Okay. The 3 YTs, yep, there we go. Right. So we need at least a size 6 or 7 port. Let's see what we have available then in the area. Of course, Hong Kong would be brilliant once we actually have it conquered. What do we have in the area that is actually that size? We do have Saigon, but that is it is being expanded to a size 6, but it's not there yet, obviously. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I know that we can obviously resupply once we're actually in a port of some nature. Size 4. We may have to rearm the big guns in Japan itself for the moment. Yeah, Saigon in time. It may be that we, rather than bombard... How about Shanghai? Shanghai could manage it. You have naval support, that's the question. Take a look at that. Right, yes, we don't have any naval support at Shanghai. Yeah, that's correct. But we can deduce that basically we don't have any ports within range. Well, we obviously could go back to Japan, but I don't think it would be worthwhile. So what we'll do then is we'll cancel that bombardment. We'll have them cancel that mission, of course. Have them obviously remain on surface combat. Now, we could use them to obviously escort the incoming invasion forces, which are coming around here. As far as we can tell, we don't have any information regarding Force Z, which is somewhat concerning. Ultimately, it's not too bad. Right, the Miri. Have the British ever tried to campaign in Saigon? Are they too focused on Burma and India? Well, we can expect the British forces over here to, I reckon they will be looking at the Burma border. We do have forces on the way towards the border here, to Chiang Mai, roughly. But we will try to advance upon Rangoon and Pigou. But imagine, PHG is using his British forces, obviously to try and deal with the Malayan situation. The Dutch forces, I really don't know. The strength are fully... They're not terribly weak, but they're not terribly strong either. So of course he's using the Dutch, British, as well as the Australian forces mostly in this area. But predominantly British forces are, for the moment, mostly in the Raj, as well as like a decent strength here in Malaya. I mean, Malaya is probably the strongest source of British resistance over here. Yeah, the Burma Road, which we will indeed try to sever at the first opportunity that we're given. So there are a number of ships over here. That airfield is rather heavily damaged. We are seeing... Right, okay. Yes, we are seeing British bombers operating from the airbase at Kuantan. So I think we will target that. That would be a good idea. Of course, we will have to see what we have available to actually escort there. The issue that we're having here in Malaya is the lack of aviation support that we have at the moment. Okay, now it's rather interesting. It seems as though the forces at Victoria Point are no longer advancing here. As far as we can tell. That is actually a true statement. Are we unloading anything here? No, okay. So just unloading supplies then. What we will do then is we'll take the 143rd. 43rd. I think we do need to secure Victoria Point just because it does represent a dangerous threat to this vital supply line. We will deal with that. Set that objective to Victoria Point. Right, we'll begin moving. The cat has mates with the mongoose. Love it. I like that. Right, unloading of supplies mostly. Okay. Now we do have the AUVs. What we're going to do here is, these are actual godsend. I've got to say that. Of the small French colony over here, yeah, we'll deal with that at some point in the future. No real threat there. I don't know if we can actually take it. I don't know if we're technically at war. I don't think we're technically at war with the French. I'm not entirely sure. Possibly. I can't actually say that for certain, to be fair. Okay, so what we're going to do here then is we are going to take the AV, so the actual aircraft auxiliary. We'll go here, support. Yes, we do have a few AVs here. Absolutely fantastic. We'll take them here. These are really, really important. Now we do actually... I'm getting quite excited here. We do have a number of search planes, which is sure enough fantastic. But their main benefit, that's actually a lot of PEDs. A few Jenks. We do have a few Jenks as well, which is quite nice. And they do have good range. These are going to come in really, really handy. But their main benefit here is we can have them disbanded. What this will then do is actually give us the additional aviation support, which is going to be extremely welcome. Okay, you guys should be getting excited just as I am as well about this. This is actually a really good result. We do have engineers over here, which is very good. We do have the Japanese Air Force base force as well, so engineers, as well as the Naval Guard. Okay. I thought they were engineers at first, but no, this is great news. Okay. We'll take this then, we'll have them disband. So they're going to the port at Singora, where in the following turn they will contribute towards the actual aviation support. So the aviation support required here is about 94, so we do need a hell of a lot of it. Well, this is good news, that's definitely going to help. We do have further AVs, they would be very welcome here on the front line. Definitely. We do have a destroyer auxiliary there. Good to see. A destroyer tender, I should say. The landing ship dock, very, very valuable. So ideally we would be taking this back to Japan. The LSDs, these are very good ships. Basically, they have a pretty damn good troop carrying capacity. Though the thing is, they can actually unload much faster than normal ships that aren't really designed for amphibious landings. So these LSDs are going to be the force that is going to be sent towards the actual Pacific. They're going to form the core of our, well, island-hopping troops, really. And make those planes patrol, yeah. Well, what we could do is we could take them from a ship and actually have them spread out to some degree, which is not a bad idea either at all, to be honest. But I don't want to spread them out too far in case of, obviously, the lack of aviation. But these are really handy. Definitely looking forward to taking that back to Japan itself. Still unloading armor forces. Yeah, armored forces here. Okay. Here as well, yep, armor. Right, okay, destroy minesweeper. Good number of destroy minesweepers, that's good to see. Decent number of destroyers as well. We have a cruiser mine layer. Okay, cool. Yes, I'm getting quite excited about it here. We do have a lot of assets I can really make use of. So we do have the 4 destroyers over here. Now then, we are aware of enemy submarine activity in this area here. That's clearly visible. But what I'm thinking is, we do have plenty of invasion forces coming around over here. It may be worthwhile for us actually to start patrolling this area. As well, it will work quite nicely to ideally distract enemy air forces. Yeah, it's basically uncracked. The crew's given, like, lots of rocks. That's a good idea. Oh dear. Okay. Now I'm getting excited. What we're going to do then is we're going to set up some new forces. So we'll set up a ASW combat force. I'm looking towards, okay, not what's in port. Notice, yeah, these are going to come in real handy with destroy minesweepers. The issue is we're going to need destroy minesweepers to actually sweep the mines away from Singapore. The issue is if we go near Singapore, it's like we can go near Singapore and we'll operate within like what? Well, we'll be able to sweep mines 6 hexes around that. So for example, if I was to send them there, they'd sweep all around there. The issue is they're still in danger, they can still most certainly die towards these mines. So it's one of those of where it'd be great to do it without the risk. But clearing mines is always going to be a risk. Clear destination. I'm going to set your home port to... We'll set it towards... Well, let's see. Port capacity. Port capacity. Of course, we do have port capacity, which is quite nice. And we'll have them sent to Saigon. Hello there, combat corgis. Good to see you again, my friend. Right, so we are going to set them on patrol around this area. Then we'll set that up. Okay, so we'll set it up from Kotoburu. So, just outside of Kotoburu. Round about here. It's definitely quite far out, but at least it's going to be a wide search pattern. Then to about here. The reason we're going in such a large area is what I want to happen is we try and catch some of the Allied submarines off guard, as he'll be expecting them to be maybe around here, so they could be here. As well, it is going to draw aircraft. Now, we do have an actual opportunity to strike at the Allied air forces in Malaya, at Kwanton. And this is very valuable. Right, we actually have... I think that's a motor launch. LCTs. LCTs are quite valuable if that is indeed a LCT. He's definitely moving his forces here. These forces are moving from Kwanton. Okay. How long until the Mersing invasion arrives? Right. That's a few days out. What do you guys reckon? We'd land just north of Johor Bahru. We'd land with... What would we have here? Okay, so an APD. The APD is actually quite valuable, to be fair. Momi class. It's not as valuable as obviously the Minakaze, but at least it's still a valuable asset. We only have a torpedo boat. We have a minesweeper here. Can you interdict them with planes? We could, but I'm not too keen on striking at this area due to the unknown presence of aircraft beyond Malaya. There's obviously a lot of aircraft down here in Malaya itself. So we have on board the 124th. Let's inspect them. Yes, the 124th Infantry. 1,184 troops in total. 75 equipment. They do have a lot of supply. Okay. See, what I'm thinking here is, rather than continue with the planned invasion of Miri, or Mirai, however the hell you pronounce it, we could take just over 1,000 troops. Granted, only half of them, if that is going to be combat, well, frontline troops. But we could have them sent towards Mersing. I can't go to Johor Bahru because that is, that requires you to go through Singapore, and Singapore would absolutely rip them to pieces. But I think if we land at Mersing with these forces here, that could be quite nice. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's risky and they will be completely outnumbered, but I think actually having that element of surprise will really work towards our advantage. We'll have you change course then. Some Mersing invasion. Mersing 2. Right, what we'll do then is we're going to actually reinforce this group. Now, I could actually achieve that with the heavy cruisers over here, as well as the Congo and Haruna. This is actually really good. This is going to be great coverage for our movements over in this area. He may be thinking, right, okay, there's Congo and Haruna out there. He's definitely aware that Congo has been hit, but he's not aware if the damage was actually any way substantial. I've told him it's not. I haven't told him that we've lost a gun. It seems we've lost a little bit of speed there. Not that that matters too much. Hello there, Judy. How you doing, my friend? You haven't really missed much. We're just taking a look at the actual cracker. Yes, well, this is it. This is why we're going to need Congo and Haruna, as well as Takawatagi, Targo. This is why we need them. These ships are able to handle it. They can handle bombs much better than they can handle torpedoes. For example, here you take a look at the belt, 200. The deck armor is where it's really important, 130mm. It's better than nothing. Only 50mm here for the deck armor. Yeah, 130. But we need them. What we're going to do then is we will have them. They will follow the task force. Yes, follow. Okay. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my cruisers. We're going to have them actually merge with this task force. What to say, this is going to be dangerous. It really is going to be dangerous. The merge. Now, we do have to accept a risk here. We are only sending just over 1,000 men towards Mersing. We do have an additional invasion on the way. Yes, almost 10,000 men there. But the thing is, it's going to take them a few days to arrive. What we'll do then is we'll run some reconnaissance over Mersing, try to actually gather some information there. Hopefully you won't think anything of it. But if there's actually no garrison at Mersing and we're actually able to land here and claim the base, then it's going to be an incredibly valuable asset. As you can see here, the British forces and obviously the Commonwealth forces are marching, they are moving. He's not moving everything. I mean, the worst case scenario would be if he was to actually just send everything on the trains and just get the hell down here to Singapore. I did the same in my play-by-email game, lost 7 AKs but made it. Yeah, this is it. We can expect a lot of losses. But we will have my Sundays over here, so obviously Congo and Haruna, as well as obviously these assets. We will have that. I think this could be done, and I think this could be done with relatively low losses of martial ships. I think if we actually cover the force in a big way, he's not going to have all the assets in the area he'd like at this moment in time. He's obviously going to have his attention, well, basically distracted elsewhere. But the most important thing is, if we do land at Mersing, and we actually do take Mersing, this larger force is going to just immediately sail into port. They're going to sail into port, and the unloading will be done without the risk, which is fantastic. Ah, Black Mace, you got the flu. Ah, man. Ah, that sucks, mate. I hope you get better soon, mate. Yeah, you need to get better soon. But and this is great. I'm actually quite happy about this. I didn't notice about this beforehand because there's a lot to keep track of. But we can make this work. I need these engineering forces sent into Malaya. At least some of them. Okay. Yeah, just look at all these numbers here that are moving. If he manages to get to Singapore, it's going to become basically unconquerable, and we'll just have to starve it out, which is going to be the plan anyway. But I need to sever this rail line. Everything depends on severing this rail line. If I cut this rail line, he can't move there. He could move to the base here at Malacca, but yeah, he can't then move to Johor Bahru or to Singapore itself, and that is really a big deal. This is the entire objective of this invasion here, is to take Singapore ultimately, as that would be the well, that'd be the actual supreme port in the area to rearm from. That would give us a massive advantage. If we can take this as soon as possible, that would be great. I would air transport, but yeah, I'd rather I don't want to take the risk for the moment. I think we can manage it. Now, we do have assets to move Malaya. I could move these Ki-43s, which are very capable craft. Right. They are very capable. I do need to reduce these actual numbers. It's rather high. And I think we may instead operate at 20,000 feet. Let's take a look at the aircraft's maneuverability bands. Yeah, they actually perform very well, this sort of band. That's quite nice. That's good to hear, man. Okay. We're going to operate about 20,000 feet. That's all fighters, 20,000 feet. We saw how well that actually worked. Ah, man. Yeah, tell me about it. Okay. It's a shame that we don't have any reserve planes. Okay, stand down. Escort. That's what we need. 30-10. That'll do great. Yes. What do we have in the area? So we do have a good number of Ki-27s. Obviously these aren't exactly the most dangerous things you can imagine. But what we're going to do here then is set them to fly at 20,000 feet. The benefit there is we saw just how effective that could be if we actually have the altitude. So let's take a look then. Yes, here we go. Obviously the actual total losses were much higher than this in reality. But we did do very well in this battle. We actually did manage to come down on top of them, which was great. Ultimate annihilation, putting the Gumo in charge of the invasion. Jesus. Right. There's a lot of British forces over there that we do need to actually move out of the area. I'm not entirely sure what sort of numbers we're dealing with in terms of combat power. Frankly, we only have one choice, and that is obviously a deliberate attack. See. Okay, the unloading has been completed. We do have extra destroyers, a light cruiser. This is very nice. At least we could actually use them to help aid in the attack by obviously having them bombard. It's not going to be great, frankly. It really isn't. We will allow escorts to bombard, but we'll have a small bombardment force. Let's see. So that's Task Force 11. I'm looking towards 85. The destroyer minesweepers as well. They do still have guns. They're rather slow. Can I take a look? You do have a 12cm gun, so 120mm. Yes, right, okay. Ammunition is very low, however. Okay, leave the destroyer minesweeper. We are going to take this small covering force, and we are going to have it merge over here as well. Then again, I could use it actually out here to actually draw some AA fire. Well, AA attention. Oh, air attention, I should say. 747. Okay, it's not worth a bombardment. Right. I'm going to have them head out here as well. I'm going to have them merge with my sun's rays. Merge. We'll gain the addition of another light cruiser as well as an extra 5 destroyers, which is going to make a big difference. Especially make a big difference to the SW capabilities. Okay. Now the forces at Patani are unthreatened, which is good to see. Are we still unloading these forces? That's the question. Right, we're still unloading the 42nd. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to take the 2 destroyers here as well. There we go. Now they actually do not have any anti-submarine capability, but they still obviously have the AA value. So I want them to remain here at Patani. Okay. New task force. Then again, let's think about this. So I obviously do talk about the LST, the actual landing ship. Do I instead take that to Saigon, where we'll be able to load up engineers there? I think that's probably the better mission. Head to Saigon, pick up the actual engineers from Saigon, have them move to either Singora or one of the other bases there, and then we'll have them head to Japan. It's going to take them a long time to head, well, to actually reach Japan. But I think we'd rather have them do something that's going to be more immediately beneficial to the actual invasion down here. What I'm going to do then is, let's see, transport. Take the LSD. That's a real odd thing to say. Oh dear. Take Baki. Tsukumo. Go. So you can carry about 2,200, 3,300 in obviously cargo. Of course, you're still carrying the armor, as you are as well. Pretty impressive. Yes, these are Kyushus. Okay. Very, very valuable to me. I need these out of here. Okay. Aye, indeed. Use an S, very valuable as well. Use an N, not so much. Still good ship, but I don't need it immediately. These Kyushus, definitely. There we go, we'll take them. You are troop transport. You're rather slow though. Right, do have a lot of supply here, but we already have over 11,000 tons of supply. We do have a supply lifeline down to Malaya, so that's fine for me. We're going to have you sent to Saigon. From Saigon we'll move, and I'll probably send the Kyushus back to Japan itself, to be honest. Or potentially we might use them to pick up more forces here. But yes, this is good news. So these Kyushus would be very, very handy either at Port Arthur or Shanghai, or even on this, yeah, so obviously this one would be the most, and again, it would be very open. So either definitely Port Arthur, I'd say. Port Arthur or Shanghai, but priority would be Port Arthur. Okay, superb. The aviation support here isn't great, is it? That's for certain. I would like to expand the airfield here. Right, we'll set up another mission then. You're going to hit Kuantan. Kuantan. It's all KI-48. There we go. So they're not going to target this airfield. We do have some decent numbers here. We do have our KI-43s and etc. Well, you're still set to airfield, so I'm going to change that to escort. That's some high numbers there. Okay. Beautiful. Using drop tanks. That is increasing their supply usage. But 12 hexes should reach Kuantan. Well, Kuantan. Take a look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. We do need them to rest, of course. They do have that set there at 10%. Their fatigue shouldn't be too high at this moment. And they do have some fatigue. Some pilots actually with some pretty high fatigue. We'll rest them when the opportunity isn't as dire. Well, when the actual circumstances aren't as dire. Then we'll rest them. I-26s. Indeed, set them to the same target at Kuantan. Oh, the bombers, yeah, they will need rest, but I want to hit this target here while we have the chance. Okay, so I do have my actual reconnaissance here. I'm going to transfer this squadron over to Singapore. Actually, no, we'll go with Patani. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. They're set to reconnaissance there. We're going to set some actual squadrons to actually watch Kuantan as well as Mersing. Okay. Take a look at Mersing. And Kuantan. That information would be very handy. Now I do have some transports over here. Their range is pretty formidable. I'm going to keep them in reserve for the time being. Keep them training. I do have some additional KI-21s. Can I hit Kuantan? Too far, but I can have them move. Right. And imagine the air... Well, let's take a look. I'll have you move to Saigon. Obviously, these aircraft are going to be stressing the resources there, or stretching them. But we'll be able to... Still too far. Damn. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I thought we'd have been within range there. Fatigue is up there. It's not too bad. What are the pilots actually good at? What are they like for naval bombing? Not very good. Okay, we'll have them rest then for the time being. So stand down. Let's have them rest and recuperate in Saigon itself. Have you transfer. Airfield construction. Okay, we'll have you transferred over here then. That reconnaissance will come in handy. Right, you're on training. None of these are serviceable, so have them stand down. AI-27s, the G4M1s. So we are targeting Clark Airfield once again. Now, I think what we'll do here then is, let's take a look. Obviously there's too many aircraft here. We will have these spread out in time. Yeah, okay. And drop tanks. Drop tanks and escort. Drop tanks and escort. Okay, so we need additional aircraft here. So we're going to put them into reserve, give them some reserves if we can. Right, I can't give them a reserve as of this moment. Replacements will take about a week to arrive. Give you a reserve. Okay, they're all set to escort. You're on naval attack. There's only about 9 aircraft here. Okay. Change that there. Hello there, Diligent. Don't worry, you've not missed everything. V10 Resolution was the episode before, though, to be fair. Yeah, we'll take a look at pilot kills, don't worry. It's a good thing to take a look for, actually. Okay, so you're set to just basically target whatever you like. There is a bunch of enemy submarines in this area. HE is dangerous. Ooh. Begun invasion. Right, we do have plenty of sub-chasers here. Plenty of them. HW is about 52, much higher than this. Okay. Yeah, make sure they hit those. And these are the ones I want them to actually hit. I did have them... Oh, yes, these ones as well. And these are only motor torpedo boats. They're nothing really worthwhile attacking, to be fair. Okay, they should be well protected, more or less. You're set to surface combat, okay. That should be probably capable of dealing with what's in the port here. We have plenty of ships moving. Plenty of them. Right, we also do have 2 heavy cruisers over here, which is very good, as well as the land cruiser Kuma. So I do have my carriers here, the Philippine Task Force. They are to meet with Baby Kiriputai, which will be arrived in the area in a short period of time. I'm going to transfer Yamashiro into this force here. Transfer Yamashiro. I think that might have been an oversight that I made of last... Well, this session when I set this up. Otherwise they would have moved further by now. Right, okay. We'll have you remain in the area. You are somewhat at risk. I'm going to keep them operating at full speed. The reason for that is it gives me some actual safety. I'm going to have them operate around about here, about midway between Formosa and the Philippines. The reason I'm doing that is because I want them to actually draw on the fighters over here at Formosa. They should be well within range here. Yeah, they should be definitely within range. Now, the aircraft I have on board Ryujo, we only have the A5M4s, which are nothing special, are they? They're currently set to escort. We'll have about 20% of them on combat air patrol, considering that we don't have many. And increase, yeah, again to 30. 20,000 feet. Right, we do have the Kate. They're set to naval attack. Okay, that works out for me. I do have you over here. You're using your drop tanks, long-range combat air patrol. $20,000 feet. Okay, 20,000 feet. Good number of them are here as well. Superb. And they're set to escort. Okay. We'll have the... about 20% of the squadron set to combat air patrol. The rest then will be available for escort should they be within range. But I don't think they would be. What is this? Right, we'll give them the drop tanks. They do have range to actually cover Clark Airfield. That's fantastic. We'll have them operate then. Ideally, they'll be able to cover quite a deal. A good deal. Right, the aircraft auxiliary over here. The attender. Yep, that gives us the support required. More or less. I do need further support. We don't have a huge amount of fuel here, so what I need to do is move these actual ships from here. We're still unloading supplies. What I'm going to do is take all of these, combine that into one task force. Can you get a 0 flight group on the Ryujo? Those A5M4s are... Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? Hello there, Dan Oko. How you doing, my friend? Yes, we could get a group of squadron... Sorry, a group of zeros on the Ryujo. Quite easily. I do have some small squadrons on Formosa that I could actually use for that task. Right, what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to take some ASW patrols. These are pretty damn good. We'll have them based here. Ebitan Island. Right, I'm going to have you patrol around this area here for enemy submarines. The rest, I'm going to have sent back to Formosa. Back to Takao. The destroyers, however... Yagumo. Oh, we do have a Minakaze. Okay. We'll have... Takikaze actually sent to Tokyo, so that she can actually be retrofitted to an APD. There you go, gonna go back to Tokyo. Probably not have enough fuel there, but that's fine. Have you finish? There you go. Now the extra destroyer over here is actually going to be sent out to aid our other forces. There we go. Have you meet over the Philippines task force? That's not a bad idea, actually. Just give them an extra destroyer while we have the opportunity to do so. These ships then are going to obviously move back to Takao. We'll be able to use those extra patrol boats and have them sent elsewhere across the Empire. Right, we're loading here. Loading. Right. I don't know what... Is this taking it? Right, okay, to count. Yes, okay, so this loading has been completed. Do I have anything I can use to escort? I am going to take... I mean, they're in a task force already, though. That's the issue. I'll take the... You actually have some ASW. You do. I'll take the Destroyer Minesweeper. They don't have anything, the memory class, but I'm going to take them anyway. Patrol craft. Right, we'll take the 2 patrol crafts, so that brings us up to 2 patrol craft, 2 torpedo boats, and a Destroyer Minesweeper. Now, we have on board here a very precious cargo. We're going to take that to Shanghai, where they're going to be unloaded, and those engineers, especially the shipping engineers, will become extremely valuable. They're going to increase the amount of support that we have there, obviously, like naval support. It's also going to increase the rate at which we actually load resources onto the actual ships there, which is fantastic. As well as, like, rearm things and etc, etc. Really handy. Okay, you're heading to Tokyo? Right. Airfield. Shipping engineer. Okay, my shipping engineers have arrived over at these bases. Yes, here we go. Have used that to combat. It's going to take you about 2 days to unload, and then you should be able to become ready. Strategic movement. Yes, headed to Nagasaki. So I am going to have to remember I need to service my airfields here in Japan, but they're a hell of a lot easier anyway. Extra forces have arrived over here to Tokyo. I do have about 4 transports here at the moment. I tell you, this is my favourite song here. Well, at least one of them. Let's turn that up. Really great. Such a nice long song too. Well, background track. Right. What is that capacity? Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So the 24th Infantry Regiment is available. Beautiful. I would like to take the actual Japanese Air Force engineers here. But I do need them for the actual forces at Tokyo. Okay, so we'll start loading up the 24th Infantry Regiment. See, that is using a considerable amount, but not a huge amount. That's good. That's very good. Okay, begin with loading the 24th Regiment. SF load. Beautiful. It's a shame I can't take these other assets, but that's fine. So the 24th is, yeah, just over... close to about 4,000 troops. That's actually very, very good. Beautiful. Right, we need to give you a target for where you will be invading. It's a good question. We'll have them set for Midway. Just for now, anyway. Do I have anything I can start loading here? Yep, look at all these transports that have arrived. You're set here. Aviation. Oh, you're from here then. Okay. Ah, those are the forces that have arrived. Right, okay, that makes a lot more sense now. I think that's rather strange. I have a, well, aircraft tender. Right, you can actually take ships. Well, obviously you can take a few float planes. Right, superb. Okay, what I'm going to do then is, let's see. Port. I don't want what's in port. Well, I don't want anything in port. I'm going to take these guys. I'm looking at the speed here. Beautiful. I'm going to have you sent to Tokyo, and then from Tokyo we'll send you out into the Pacific. where are my escort carriers? Ah, ha ha ha, brilliant. And the other one's on his way. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Lovely. Right. It seems you're not yet in Tokyo. What we're going to do then is we need to assemble an actual engineering force here. So I need at least one squad, well, one group of engineers. Ideally more, but we'll have to take a look at what we have available. But what we're going to do here is we're going to have, ideally, both of the escort carriers. We'll have our APDs, which will be ready in about a month, okay? And then what we're going to do is going to be beautiful, this. This is going to be a real nice, it's going to be something that I hope he does not expect. But basically, what we'll build here then is we'll have the actual escort carriers along with a couple of APDs from the Minikaze class. We're going to then use them to travel probably around the Pacific or other islands like this. So for example, let's say here at Laysan Island or potentially Johnson Island. Or a better example would probably be down here. Yeah, so let's say for example that we were to take the island Vanua Lava. What I would then do is obviously have I'd have the escort carriers as well as the APD sent to Vanua Lava, where they would then obviously unload the engineers to begin setting up an actual airfield. We'd have the APDs carrying the engineers as well as potentially just some SLNF. We'd have the aircraft from the actual aircraft tenders, so we'd be able to unload the squadron there. The idea is that we could actually set up mobile air bases pretty damn quickly. And the good news is we can actually set them up fairly quickly, but then we can actually take them elsewhere pretty rapidly. The idea is we want to keep PHG guessing. It will also allow us to actually deploy forces well in advance of anything else that we have, and it will definitely be quite a surprise. Up there, Abaddon, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I hope you're feeling fine. Okay, awesome. AVD over here, I really would like to take that. Okay. What I'm going to do here then is... Right, change you to full speed. There we go, full speed. This is obviously only 19 knots. But I'm going to have you follow this task force instead. Follow. Direct path. Right, you'll meet about there, fantastic. What I'm going to do then to make sure that we actually meet them, and they actually do survive, is I'm going to set a waypoint here. Yeah, about here. I'm going to delay them, obviously, to some extent, but this means that they'll actually meet pretty quickly, which is very good, and then they can carry on their journey. In fairness, I could actually change that just to cruise speed. Mission speed, actually. There we go, mission speed. Super. Now we do have plenty of destroyers and cruisers coming out of here, which is dangerous. We do have our midget submarines. We have about 4 of them. One of them is obviously quite heavily damaged. One of them is trying to get out of here. Right, let's see. If I press the number 6, obviously this shows our patrols. I'm going to leave this for one more turn. One more turn, and then we'll actually look at moving the submarines. At what date and time do you live stream One of the East? Well, the last episode of One of the East from Matrix Games was obviously last night. So that series is pretty much done on the Matrix channel. Yeah, well, actually, we finished the scenario, so that one's actually finished. Regarding the One of the East play-by email I'm doing, I do have that saved, so I will probably be doing that tomorrow, should I have the chance to do that. I heard Japanese pilots war typers. I don't know about that. I suppose it makes sense considering you're out there a long time. If you need to go, man, you need to go. I wouldn't hold that against them, to be fair. Right. We are going to obviously keep this up. I need to find these enemy carriers. What we're going to do then is we're going to consult our data. Let's see if we picked anything up. Okay, day, 2 days. We won. We achieved a major victory. Barely. I mean, we won on victory point. Things were definitely starting to disintegrate towards the end. Conning Tower. Probably... I'd say probably around 7 o'clock. I don't know, give or take. Sometimes I just do things. But I'd say somewhere around that time. Early, well, evening anyway. Depending what's going on, really. Right, Allied Patrol 163-106 near Johnson Island. Task Force 1 shadowed by Allied aircraft at 163-106. Yeah, okay. So he's definitely somewhere around this region. And we are going to hunt him. Now let's take a look at what we actually have available here. So if we take a look at fighters, we have 65 in total, only 61 already. We did lose a lot of our zeros, which really does concern me. It does, frankly it does. The morale's still great, especially for Soru. They're still capable, they're still more than capable of handling the situation. Now currently we have them obviously on rather outrageous levels of combat air patrol. We are going to keep that up. I think we will obviously have them on... Do we really? The thing is, if I start using drop tanks, that does eat away at the fleet's endurance, while the actual flotilla's endurance even faster. So is it worthwhile? Is it worthwhile? We do already have pretty significantly good range at 9. I think beyond that it's wasteful. We'll keep them obviously without using the drop tanks for a moment in time. I believe it does reduce the wear and tear on the actual aircraft themselves. So we'll have them set to about 30%. Yeah, about 30%. 20,000 feet, yes. Okay. It's a shame that this squadron took so much damage. The other squadrons are pretty good to go. Let's just take a look at the kills. I mean, I don't think they really achieved many kills. One confirmed kill there, more or less. Okay. So we're going to operate at 20,000 feet then. That did work very well for us. I think what we'll do then is we'll change the altitude every now and then. Try and keep PhD guessing for the most part. The issue is, obviously, if we operate at 20,000 feet, will he then change to operate at 20,000 feet himself? He very well could do. The thing is, his aircraft are going to operate so very well at that altitude. Obviously, they still will, but they'll lose a lot of maneuverability. The question is, at what point do I then change tactics and operate at about 15,000 feet? Where obviously I do have the advantage in maneuverability. I think it's an interesting question, because it's like, at the end of the day, if our Zero Squadron is jumped by, let's say, a squadron of American aircraft, such as the P-40B Warhawks, would that extra maneuverability allow them to elude rear attacks or dive on attacks? I think they definitely would be dived on, so I don't think it's something that we'd really want to do then. Hello there, Blackstar. Yeah, well this is it, isn't it, really? At the moment, operating at a higher altitude has worked out really well for us. If you find a USN carrier, it will probably be by itself. Your 60 should be more than capable. Yeah, this is it. This is what we are obviously banking on. The fact is, that one carrier, well, it's going to be one carrier. Hello there, AT, how you doing, my friend? Right, yeah, that's a good point. You go into the optimal band if you can't go as high as them. We obviously can reach roughly the same altitudes. We do have superior maneuverability at that altitude. Only slightly. But I like the fact that we gain the dive and attacks. We'll keep using it for the time being, and then we'll definitely change tactics when it is worth it. When it actually does make sense to do so. We'll also keep a note on how the air battles go. Okay, so our dive bombers. Increase their range, obviously back up to 7. Let's all carry dive bombers. Torpedo bombers. You have more maneuverability at 20. Yeah, more. Yeah, we do have more maneuverability as well as at 20,000 feet. I tend to fly high until the lightning start arriving. Yeah, I can't argue with that logic. Now, do I want to... Okay. Yes, we'll operate at maximum range. Oh yeah, I'll show you where you can see that maneuverability information in a moment. What do you guys reckon? Should we have the dive bombers and torpedo bombers operate at the same range, i.e. 7? There's a lot to be said for that one, in obviously maximizing the amount of offensive capability. Though, I don't know, it's somewhat tempting. I don't think I will operate at 9x range here with the torpedo bombers solely. It's very viable, it could be done, but in my opinion, I think we'd be better off actually having the carrier task force's actual offensive assets, such as the dive bombers and the torpedo bombers, operate together, basically maximize the chance to actually kill something. Also, the problem is if you're more than 10k feet higher, then you also don't get dive tags. Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, that's quite a hell of an altitude. Right, what we're going to do then is we're going to operate at 7. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll operate at that sort of level then. Let's make sure they're all set to obviously that. There we go, beautiful. Okay, so we do have fairly good information that the American carrier is in this area. At least we can actually estimate that. We'll try and drive the enemy before us. We know they're roughly in this area. Okay, let's try and narrow it down. In fact, let's make this a patrol, then at least I can actually see what I'm doing. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's my thinking. I think at the end of the day, 2 hexes isn't going to make a major difference. I do believe there's a special rule for carrier task forces, or basically air combat forces, where basically, if they're within a certain range of an enemy air combat force, I think they do automatically move an extra hex, as far as I'm aware. I would set torp and dive bombers at the same ranges of the lowest max range, but yeah, well that's it. I mean, the Zeros obviously have the 9 range, but obviously they're set to combat air patrols, so at least they may have a chance of intercepting something in that range, that extended range. But of course, they have more than enough range to actually keep up with the dive bombers and the torpedo bombers. Should I set a search arc? I'm going to say no for the actual seaplanes over here. The reason for that is, well, it's hard to really say. I don't want to set it to this area and then a carrier be here. We only have the one plane, so it doesn't make a huge difference. So the one plane, yeah. I keep getting like tongue-tied today. Ugh. Always terrible in the first stream. Always terrible. I'm going to send another submarine this way. Just on the off chance. You could also probably set a squad of Vals as scouts. That's actually rather intriguing information, to be fair, like naval search. Okay, we'll give that a go. We'll have about 10%. So 10% of each squadron will be out there searching. Not a huge amount. But at least then we're not going to lose a bunch of vowels. And the thing is, I don't need to be as careful with where my submarines are being placed here in regards to those kind of seaplanes, as obviously having Kibutai near here, with its really long, great search arcs. And the fact that it has a bunch of seaplanes available is going to be good. I think he's definitely in this area. Yeah, they do come very low. At least once we actually bring the American carrier, hopefully, to its destruction, I'll be able to then actually refuel my submarines. I'm using a lot of fuel like this. But in my opinion, is it really... I think it's worthwhile. At the end of the day, it's not guaranteed that we can actually find the carrier, so at least by having our submarines move out here, it gives us a much higher chance to actually try and catch something. At the end of the day, it makes it harder for him to escape as well. I think we'll have these submarines coming around here. So I'm going to change them from full speed to mission speed. We'll have them move this area. The reasoning is obviously we're going to have to blockade Pearl Harbor from further out. We'll begin to set up like further blockades here. At the end of the day, I need to stop THG from moving really anything from Pearl Harbor. I doubt there's going to be anything he really wants to move from there, besides obviously the escorts. But if it's larger ships such as like... And this is it, he's going to have to try and supply this somehow. He does have some local production, but not much. Okay, so the Canton Island Invasion Force is en route. We do have our AMCs actually approaching here from the south as well, which is great news. We do have this submarine heading towards... Is it Melbourne? I think it's Melbourne. Right, actually, yes, I was saying I would show where you find the information for aircraft maneuverability. So what you do then is you go here to aircraft data. So this is the maneuverability at 10,000 feet, well 10,000 feet and below. 10,000 to 15,000 feet is 35 maneuverability. 16 to 20 is 26, 21 to 31 is 17, 32k plus is 8. That's how you find that information out. Hello there, Jeremy. How are you doing, my friend? The situation is we had a I don't know. I'd say significantly better second turn in the fact of we haven't destroyed much. That's the thing. We haven't destroyed much, but we're positioning ourselves to do that. We have landings that will be going ahead soon enough. That will be quite nice. We did have a very nice victory over here at Clark Airfield. Granted, we lost a few bombers, but we did actually shoot down. Let's take a look. Aircraft losses. Right. We only lost 1-0 yesterday. Well, technically today. As well as 3 G3M2s, as well as 6 G4M1s. But the Allied forces lost 3 Hudsons, 2... Right, here we go. So we shot down 3 P-35s, we shot down 3 P-40B Warhawks, as well as 11 P-40E Warhawks. Yeah, 10 of those shot down. Looks like one of them was lost due to operational losses. So that might have been them actually shot at in the air, damaged, and then they could have crashed on their way out. But yeah, things are okay so far. The economic situation is not too bad. Things are obviously starting to move. I can move the 21st Division. And just begin loading some supplies while you're here. Right, you're here for the escort. Yes, I'll show the pilots soon, don't worry. Okay, begin to combine these. I'll put the Kamikaze in here. Is it Kamikaze or Minikaze? Oh, it's Kamikaze class. So she's actually the namesake of her class. Omi. We'll put Suzuki in here as well. Okay, so begin to load resources. So each of the ships that now arrive will go into the Shanghai resource convoy. Right, we're loading resources here that will obviously be then taken to Japan itself. I'm having them sent directly to either Kyoto or Tokyo. Reason is obviously I'd like them to actually get there. Kyushu already here, begin loading. Okay, so we do have a number of destroyers already in the port. You don't have any ASW. Isn't exactly great, is it? Neither do you. Let's see. Okay, so Task Force 320 can go in here to obviously escort. Do. Okay. Right, good, good. We do have... I mean, the thing is, we are concentrating our search here. Well, let's take a look at the search while we're at it. Map. Yeah, 100% will do fine. Search arcs. Okay. So this is the area that we're continuously patrolling. The area that we're actually really targeting. To be fair, I could do actually altering and having them moved a little bit further down there. Well, I mean, this will work out fine. We'll actually catch things as it travels up the East China Sea, as we really thought. But at least like this, we really do have to rely upon our destroyers. In my opinion, I think it's a hell of a lot more... I think it's far more efficient for us to obviously have the passive form of ASW, which would obviously be the destroyers and the convoys. I think they'd obviously do a much better job passively. We'll have obviously then active sort of ASW, which is obviously going to be deployed from islands or Korea, Japan, or China itself. The idea will be obviously to have them head out there once we identify where submarine is to then actively target that area. This will be, I suppose, the search axis, well, passive. Active slash passive, of course. Also, a side note, did you start Cape production upright? Yeah, no, it's rather an incredible fact that there's like no Cape production. It's like, what? We'll take a quick look. I may have missed it, to be fair. Right, yes, we outspended B5 and 2K production. That's good, then. Okay. And bigger task forces are smaller ones, which is better for cargo logistics. Well, you really want to try and... Well, the thing is, when it actually comes to actual convoys, let's go into the... history. Cargo planning. Let's say that we pick up at... Where is it? I'm looking for Port Arthur here. Right, Port Arthur. Offload our Shumaneski. Resources, what was it, about 13 hexes, give or take? And then task force is 1. Okay, so you can see here. That's fuel usage per hex. You can also see that the port here can handle. So, this port here can load 168,500 tons. Port Arthur can load 150,900 tons of supplies. Resources, I should say. Load 21,600, 4,000. Right. This gives us the actual information. So, for example, if I look at... Okay. So, to have a convoy that would be able to carry the total number of resources, we'd want, obviously, 23 U's and S's. We actually have that. No, I only have 10 of them. Yeah, so we only have 10 of these bad boys available. We do have 32 Q. We need 27 of them in an actual task force. So what we're doing really is we've had to mix like different ship classes. But what you want to do really is look at the actual movement, so a hex movement by day. So if we take a look at that. So these ships, obviously like the Kyushu and the USNA, the USNS, they move 9 hexes per day. The USNN moves about 8 hexes per day. So what we worked out is obviously this is 13 hexes. So ships from 9 down to 7 hexes per day could do this convoy route. Then when you have to take a look at is obviously the fuel usage per hex. So, to answer your question, I would say a larger task force is easier. Not necessarily safest method. But then again, it's one of these, isn't it? It's like a larger convoy. At least you can concentrate your assets. A smaller convoy, obviously you do spread it out, so at least one part of the convoy, if it's intercepted, at least it's only that one part of the convoy. I'm going to favour larger convoys just because it does make my life easier. And as well, it does mean that we can actually concentrate on just one convoy rather than a few smaller convoys. So in my opinion, I would say it's better for the... I mean, it's better for the actual logistics as well. If we have one large convoy moving in, at least then we have all of those resources being offloaded. And ideally, we'd like to double up on a lot of the convoys so that we always have something loading, something offloading. We'll try and do that as much as we can do. Your older twin-engine bombers work quite well as patrol aircraft, such as the Ki-48. Nails are quite nice for it to get the radar quick one. That's quite cool. Okay. Now then, so this is ongoing then. Let's see, what do we have available at Fusan? Cargo. Okay. I do have a destroyer here at Fusan. Yeah, okay, brilliant. We'll have them begin loading resources. This is great news. But then again, you don't seem... so D... Don't seem something like what I'd want. We'll take a look at obviously getting rid of that later. At the end of the day, it's there for the moment, so I might as well have it start loading up resources. Now I do have the troop carrier here, and that has an impressive amount of capacity. How much would it actually cost us to load the infantry? 11,690. The 21st Division. A7M. We do have some research set towards the A7M, but I'm actually going for, well, I mean, obviously this is something I haven't changed as of this moment. I'm looking towards the J2 M2 Jacks. That's what I'm going towards mostly. I mean, we could obviously take a look at going for the A7Ms. Obviously, we still have this opportunity. Yeah, we were looking towards more armoured variants, really. I mean, of course, we do still have a lot of R&D left here, so there's a lot that we can do. I've not actually set everything up here perfectly. I do have some research into the H6K4, 5, sorry. Actually, no, that's a good point. I do need to expand the H6K program. What engines do they need? Right, air production. Mitsubishi HA33. 33. So we are expanding that to 100 total. I'm going to need a lot of them. What actually uses the HA33? I think we were discussing this in one of the previous sessions where we're like, I want to increase it, I know I have to increase it, but how much do I increase it by? So if we take a look over here then, it's not showing us the right information. Available R&D. Let's see, available. Oh. Doubt this. Yeah, that's definitely still not giving us the right information. Yeah. Well, this is it. It really is. And again, it's one of these questions, isn't it? And we take a look at our actual aircraft. We'll go to aircraft here. IGN. Level Walmart, I guess. Now, the question is, do we instead use the G3s or G4s for the actual patrol? Rain has range. That's brilliant, it gives me everything but the range. Okay, that'll do. Right. You may want to just look at the variant. Yeah, that's true. Banzai there, Madcat. How you doing, my friend? Right, okay, so we can see here. Obviously the speed's higher towards the G3M2, for example. Endurance is obviously significantly higher. Yeah, 18 extended range, so 15 versus 20. 18 versus 25. Altitude is higher. Durability is much higher. Service rate is much higher. Which does make a big difference. See, the thing is, you can actually mount 2 torpedoes here. Yeah, that's true. Would have been a float plane. Electronic. Yeah, I don't know why that's there. Maybe due for some mods or something of that nature. Or maybe just a natural American thing. No, can't say anything here. Yeah, Southampton. I mean, this is it, isn't it, really? There's about 36 heavy industry per engine. Well, it's 144 for a 4-engine, I do believe. Let's have a look. It's about 18 heavy industry per plane. Or per engine, I believe. Or 36. Also, could you link that sheet of all the plane models? Oh, that one, okay. I assume you mean this one. Yeah, I assume you mean this one. Okay. I'll do that right now before I forget. I'm terrible for forgetting about things. Not bad. Okay, there we go. That should work. We'll take a look then. Fighter bomb. Gunfighter. Right, IGN level bombers. Now the G3M3 obviously does come with the radar. And the G4M2 does not, it's only the G4M2A. This is definitely, well, this is 1942, this is 1944, big difference. Yeah, so we need the G3M3. G3M3, yep, okay. Well, that's not too far away either at all, which is quite nice. So let's take a look at our R&D then. G3M3, we're already working towards that, so I'm going to actually ramp up that R&D. We are going to obviously need more engines then. The G3M3, what do you use? G3M3 uses a Mitsubishi HA33. But this is it, at least it's only going to cost us about... Yeah. Okay, so I think it's 18 heavy industry for the engines. And I then believe it's for the engines to actually go into the plane is 36. So a 0 will cost us about 36 heavy industry. But then I think it's an additional 36 for each engine. So a 4-engine bomber is 144 heavy industry. A 2-engine then is obviously 36 times 2, which is 72 heavy industry. So this is it. It's like for every one H6K, we'd have 2 G3M3s. Obviously these bad boys are capable of carrying torpedoes. And obviously they can mount bombs. Well, they can carry bombs, of course. I mean, both of them can carry bombs. The range isn't bad either, so normal range plus the drop tank is 21. Extended range... Right, okay. So is this actually... So 21, 26. I'm happy with that, I can make do with that. So we'll increase the G33 production? Yeah, we'll do that. We do have plenty of supplies here available. Notice we're obviously using our heavy industry points, but we do have plenty of van available. Take us up to 20. And an additional 10. Ah. Well. But that's fine, that's like an optimum number then. I'll have, yeah, that'll work fine. So we do need to increase our production quite dramatically. Let's see. Figure this one out. Air production. We do have 109 in the pool, which is quite nice. We produce, what, roughly, yeah, 2.2 per day, 66 a month. This is the potential R&D usage. The potential engine usage is 630. I think what we'll do then is we'll increase this to, let's see. If I was to increase that. That's going to cost us 10,000 supply. That's not cheap. It would burn 1,000 heavy industry points. 1,000 manpower. This is actually very expensive. We don't have a huge amount of these resources. I will increase this though to 200. Yeah, that's a lot of resources used there. Do bear in mind that each point that we repair needs, I think it's 1,000 supply. It's very expensive. I do need to take a look at vehicle production, actually. So that's a new production facility. Okay. Ride vehicles. The maximum production is 152. So I'm only building 72 here at the moment. Can you build plane factories in Korea? I don't think we can. No. I don't think you can actually construct new factories as such. You have R&D, and then you have... I think you only have a certain number of them in Japan. Yeah. Right, these aren't repaired, obviously we do need to increase that. What is our demand for vehicles? This is what I need to find out. Right, these are actually set to expand, so this is fine. So let's set that. Yeah, so they can begin expanding. I'll take us to 30. Okay, that's fine. So this expansion is going to take place. I just forgot to start them. Right, so an additional 80 here. Building 72. Right, here we go. These are what we have. These are the ones that we're building. Fair enough. I'm going to go for a mod aggressive expansion. We'll expand this to size 30 as well, so basically all of them will be set to 30. There we go. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, okay, so 118 total. That should be sufficient for what we need. Yeah, so there you go. Max production will be 182 there. I wish you could tell you the need. The need would be great. I'm currently not producing any armament. But I'm fine for armament. Vehicles, definitely I need more. Yeah. I mean, that really is true. I mean, that's it, isn't it? It's like we get that pretty early. And, of course, it's equipped with radar. And it's just a solid aircraft anyway, so I think we will go towards that. I mean, we will have our APD minikazes. That in time... There is one. I think we have one in Tokyo, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Ships under repair. Not one here. I know we definitely have one at Kyoto. Yeah. So Akikaze. So in time, we'll obviously be converted to an APD. And then from there, in 1942, we'll have that upgraded to have access to the Type 13 radar. Which is great. We'll actually have more radar out there. I think as far as I'm aware, only the APD Minikaze will have access to radar, as well as the Shokaku and the Zuikaku aircraft carriers. So that's actually going to make a really big difference. I think the thing is, it's we're building a Japan for a longer war. Definitely. Like if I was very much looking towards the shorter term war, it's like obviously I'd be I'd be throwing a lot more resources and really expanding everything all at once. In my opinion, if we do that, then we'd only really have a year or 2 years at most. So I think we're going to play it safe and go for a sort of smart expansion program. Not too reckless. Reckless in some areas. Well, really rapid in some areas, but we have the resources for it. The main thing is to make sure that we get these resources flown into Japan. That's the main thing. Right, transport. Okay, so I do have the division in Hakadate. Hokkaido, sorry. You're not attached to Northern Army, so I don't think you can actually be transferred out of Japan anyway. Second model Kates also have a radar, do they? Holy shit, that's awesome. Right. We're going to have you sent to Tokyo. You're going to go to Tokyo. Oil, yeah. Don't worry about the oil. Yeah, I mean, I've had a few people actually mention this about the Shinano. Do we actually start building her at some point, or do we just leave her permanently? But I think what we'll do is, once we have built the two... Well... Each day we're waiting here. Well, we have the Yamato actually on halted for the moment. She's basically paused her construction for the moment. We're waiting about 163 days? Give or take 163 days. Yes, we are going to be building the B5N2Ks. I've started production there. Well, I've expanded production to 30 facilities, so it's going to take some time to actually be built. But we will start building the B5N2Ks pretty soon. Yes, as we're saying. So Yamato has been paused. I want her to arrive at the same time as Musashi. So what we're going to do then is we're going to wait until we get those dates lined up and then start producing Yamato again. But I think once we finish Yamato and Musashi, then I think we'll start developing the Shinano again. At least then, because obviously I'll have these naval shipyard points. We'll build the Yamato. But if it makes you feel any better, we'll have Yamato and Musashi arrive at the same time, which in my opinion I think will make a much larger impact. Glares in Yandere. Oh dear. Yeah. We'll have Yamato and Musashi arrive at the same time. In D&D terms, each of your characters is worth their weight in platinum. Pretty much. The US is obviously going to add numbers and carriers. That's a given. See, the thing is, it's ultimately a war of resources. It's ultimately a war of economies. And this is where we lose, because at the end of the day, the Allied economy is just significantly larger and will increase and match us and exceed us no matter what. So the thing is, we have to try and win an economic war in the short term. What I mean by that is obviously having the smart usage of assets to win battles in the short term. The China's going to be interesting. I think China's going to be a very interesting campaign. I'll talk about that one in a moment, actually. Well, see, this is it. It's like with Yamato and Musashi. It's a good question. I mean, it's a good point, actually, isn't it? Like, won't be much use as her weight in oil. It's a good question. It's a good thing. I do want them. The reason I want them is their bombardment capabilities. I know that doesn't sound great, but as well as their AA capabilities. I am very much looking towards an eventual invasion of Hawaii. I very much am. I think we need to do that. And that is going to be made possible by super battleships. We could do it without them, but I would like their guns. I would like their AA capabilities. The fact of their armor makes them very attractive. I think at the end of the day, they are going to be a very attractive soak for aircraft. Ideally, they don't die as easily as they did in real life. I mean, they did take a lot of hits, but not as many as we would have liked. And until sometime in 1943 when the Essex class is deployed. Also, another thing you can do is swap the D3A2 research over to the D4Y1 as it only arrives 5 months later and is infinitely better. Good point, actually. We'll take a look at the D4Y1. I think we are researching towards that, actually. Take a look. R&D. Yes, we do have the D4Y1, but we do have the D3A2 valves, don't we? Okay, we'll do that. There's a share back, check how I get those resources back. Fine, we'll do that. We'll take a look at the D4Y1 before we do that. And that's what am I doing? I can just go over here, can't I? Where the hell is it? Ah, here we go, last page. Yeah, the D3A1 is a dead end. Yeah, it does, yeah, pretty much. D3A2 evidently leads onto the D5Y1, I suppose you could say. But that's basically if you went D3A1, you go to D3A2. Well, as a Judy, D4Y1, D4Y2, D4Y3, D4Y4. No armor. It's a shame. Gun value, yeah, then it goes D4Y4 to, well, I'd imagine. Yeah, D5Y1. But this is it. It's like we'll have the battleships. We're pausing the construction of the Yamato, so we can actually use those assets. Well, we're pausing the construction of the Shinano and the Yamato. So we can use the naval shipyard capabilities to actually speed up the construction of the Yunyo class, which will arrive sooner. I'd like to actually get a steady date for when they'll arrive. But we'll try to obviously have as many carriers as we can. I think the thing is, carriers are great and all, but Japan, it's one of these things. We do have the added advantage of the fact that we will, for the most part, have bases nearby. I mean, this is a thing that we have to consider. It's like the Americans, the Allied forces, are the ones that are having to bring the battle to us. Obviously, at the start of the war, Japan is taking the battle to the Allied forces. After that point, after a certain point, obviously, it very much changes where the Allies are bringing the battle to the Japanese. So, we won't have many carriers. Nowhere near as many as the Allied forces. But at the same time, we don't need as many, as considering the fact that we will have the advantage of land bases to actually use against the enemy. Makes up for some of the differences there, in my opinion. Which is why we need to make so much use of escort carriers and APDs taking squadrons out there. So we can actually basically set up ourselves on basically a land airfield. Well, an airfield, an island. Something unsinkable. But yeah, okay. Maneuverability is higher. Range is higher on the D4Y1 bow. Service rating is actually superb. If that service rating is correct, that's service rating 3, which is actually really nice. Not like maneuverability matters a huge deal. End of the day, they're going to be here. They do use the HA60, which is rather interesting. How many of those do we actually produce? Not a huge deal, but then again, I don't think many planes actually use the HA60. Yeah, just the D4Y1. Okay, that's great. I mean, at the end of the day, at least we know how many engines we need. If you manage a Portland snipe, you will have more decks in play until mid-1944. Well, that's an interesting thing, really, isn't it? Is it gamey? Gamey. Okay, we'll change this to the D4Y1. Then again, we also... But I don't repair these for the moment. Realistically, how many dive bombs do we need? Feel like that AT, have a good day, my friend. I'm going to start the production of the D3A2s overall. For the moment. I think we'll decide what we're going to do with these slots. I think 60 is going to be enough. Of course, we'd have to overhaul them, but I think that will be enough. I think 60 is enough. Be such a bunch of reinforcement. We'd have to get there. That's interesting. I think we'd have to go for it then. I know it's a bit of a gamey thing, but at the end of the day... it'd be very, very difficult, in my opinion, to achieve this. But I suppose that's something that we could look at doing in the future. I mean, that's obviously like a later game sort of thing to even consider. Right, do we have any forces that are capable of movement here? We'll set these forces to deliberate. Yeah, you destroy 3 CVs and 51. Bloody hell. It's crazy, isn't it, really? Right, we'll take a look at the forces here. We need to begin moving ASAP. So all that's been unloaded here is just the armor. So we'll begin moving the infantry. Yes, they must march to a low star. So we'll begin marching the 11th Infantry Regiment. I could do with these engineers remaining in place before. Okay. Set them to stay with the 11th Infantry Regiment. What I'd like to do, obviously, once Kotoburu has been secured, we can then start to strategically move forces down here via rail. We do have the RTA Division, which is loaded, I do believe, so they will start moving ASAP. Right, I'm going to have them start planning for Taiping. We do have other forces beginning their movements as well, such as the Imperial Guard Division. You're set to a low star. I'm going to have you set elsewhere. I'm going to have you plan for Singapore. There we go. Singapore was captured. But I suppose that's a good question. I'd imagine it would have been taken back. It's quite a vital area. Okay. I'm going to take some of these actual sub-chasers. Just for the moment. What I want to do here then is make sure that we have some sub-patrols ongoing here. THG is more than likely going to be trying to actually hit this area with submarines. I was not liberated. Okay. I mean, it was a fortress after all. I can't... Well, this is... I actually don't know about Singapore after it fell. Keep you together for the time being. Not interesting. Okay, we're transferring you over here. So we do have the Wake invasion on its way. Okay, we're going to take the Kaiseril. Have them both begin loading, actually. Load fuel. Even you could be handy. But what I will be doing is taking this tanker. And you will be sent down here to the south. We do need to set up actual convoys to resupply these islands. Things are very complicated at the moment due to all these moving parts. Just check out each one of these ports and make sure what has arrived is already starting to load. And then at least we can make the most of our time here. Right, you're heading over there, where you can then begin. And what I'll do is actually, I could do with some shipping, some resources over here. Then I could build this up. I do want to actually you know what? Now that I mention it. You are set for Midway. I don't need them at Midway. I mean, those guys decided to Singapore, to be fair. Yeah, they're not going to go to Singapore. We need an island in the Aleutian Islands. We need one of these islands. And you know what? It's going to have to be Dutch Harbour. We're going to take the Aleutians. We're going to plan for the Aleutians. Now, I did have this worry some time ago, when I was like thinking, right, okay, this is far too close to the American coastline, it's far too close to Alaska, obviously Canada, and obviously the US itself. It's going to be under threat, and yes, it will be under threat. But the thing is, if we actually do take Dutch Harbour, we will have... 1 second. We'll have a line going roughly, if we take Midway as well. Then, of course, like Canton Island, which is, I think it's there. So, something roughly... Then, of course, I'd like to take something down here. Yeah. That's going to be great. We'll do that. Then what I'll have to focus on doing is actually trying to fill out these islands with actual squadrons that could obviously intercept enemy shipping, whether it be an actual aircraft on one of these islands, or whether it be AMCs or other surface craft, or even submarines. But that'll work well. It will push, obviously, the Allied forces' safety net back further. It also would act as a very nice jump-off point towards landing something at Portland. Or even just to raid the American coastline, as well as the Canadian coastline. Okay. That works well. Yeah, you thought I weren't going to draw anything. You were wrong. I always have a plan. We'll call that the flower plan. Right, we'll get ready for that. Yeah, the Japanese invaded a few of the Aleutian Islands. Dutch Harbour is by far the best. Oh, did we risk it and go for Kodiak? Oof. That would be a risk. And I think it'd be one of those where, yeah, we'd be absolutely devastated in my opinion. He has so many... I mean, he has a rail line here, so you can actually... Again, this resources. There's nothing really here. I mean, there's some resource production, but even then, that's not exactly worthwhile. I was hoping for some... Indeed. The flower piece. Yeah, I think Kodiak's too far. Dutch Harbour is manageable. I mean, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 14, maybe 15 hexes, maybe even 16 hexes. Yeah, about 16 hexes. It'd be roughly 14, roughly 13 to 15, maybe 16 hexes away from the bases over here. That'd be good enough. Yeah, packed. I say, oh wow. Okay, that makes sense. You shouldn't be here, you should have an actual order. HA60 models. Is listing the D4Y2C Judy, as does the D4Y2S. Take a look at those actual frames then, if we can do. Now it's only listing the D4Y1. I don't know if that model actually exists in the game. Not sure on that one. Okay, we need to actually ship you out somewhere, but I don't know as of where you need to be yet. Right, that tender needs to be shifted out. Take you out here, you can obviously then disband, help maintain the minefield of Nagasaki. Oh, the other one is the Ki-61s, okay. Y3 and Y4 use the HA-53s. Right, these tankers are to be sent to Tokyo. We have our APs here. A good amount of them already, which is very nice to see. Yeah, very nice amount of them. Speed's about 17 knots, which is actually very nice. Are the Aleutians even accessible in the winter? Yes, I guess. It's not great, is it? I suppose at the end of the day they are taking a risk. What was our capacity? 22,710. So we'll begin loading the 33rd Division. As we need the other forces to arrive. So they are set obviously to target Manila. You know, first off though, only load troops. Step load. Right, you're assigned to General Defense. I need to have them reassigned. 51 points. Okay, so we need to reassign the ones that are really needed. We'll look at that. We'll wait for them to all arrive, then we'll go from there. But at least the division there is going to start to load, which is fine. At the end of the day, I suppose I need to save my political points for, well, transferring divisions out of Japan itself, if we can do. Though, arguably, the engineers are probably more useful. Then again, you can't say no to an extra bloody division, can you? Now, they did come under attack from 4-engine bombers, which was rather scary, I'd say from there. In how I play, I have a few planes, types to keep around, CV-5 to CV dive bomber, CV-4, small float plane, big float, army fighter, army level bomber, land scout, twin-engine bomber. Yeah, I mean, this is how you have to play. You have to condense things. Right, Hong Kong. They're currently commanded by Seno Tadayoshi. 58, 77, 30. Would cost me 30 political points though. His inspiration is actually very good. He's one of the best. No, he is the best. In terms of leadership, he's not the best, but he's not far away. And again, 71. Oh, actually, 71, 70. Though he's not the best land commander. He's suited for the assault, however. He's very good at leading the men and inspiring the men. His actual land combat is questionable. '60, 62, 77 on the land. Aggression's very high. Though Tadayoshi isn't actually... He's actually up there in the top 10. So, I think that's fine. I think we'll accept that. We do have the 104th Division on its way. Yeah, they're making speed. Have obviously that objective changed to Hong Kong itself. All. Okay. So we have an additional... Yeah, like what, 13,000 men? Yeah, you can always take him into high command. Well, that's it, isn't it, really? He could go into a high command position. An additional 150 odd guns, 140 odd guns. I mean, these are only 81mm mortars, not exactly anything major. Then again, I don't have any more artillery here. I don't want to risk transferring more forces out of Canton due to the fact of I don't know what forces we are facing here. I don't know how strong they are. We are sending forces over to engage in the south. Okay, that's not a bad point, man. I think what we'll do then is take a look at doing that over here, then. '25th Army. Okay, here's 25th Army, which is obviously attached to Southern Army. Yamashita. Now that's a very interesting name, isn't it? He's actually very able. He's actually extremely able. Admin. Wow. He's actually our third best commander. I knew he was a great commander, but that's pretty impressive. Of course, Yamashita was the one, obviously, to run Singapore. Okay. Well, that's fine then. 25th command's in good hands. We'll look at that in the future. I think we need these political points really to transfer divisions and engineers from Japan out to the greater empire as a whole. Okay, so let's think about this. We've looked at Malaya. Forces are beginning to move at Malaya. These forces over here, so we have the 6th RTA division. That's march into a low star. Right, you're on the rail line. What we're going to do then is we're going to cancel this movement. I'm going to have you set for a strategic move. I'm going to have you to move towards, move towards Singapore in the meantime. Yeah, you also have a print. Indeed. Right, you'll strike at this base. Why strike that base? Ideally, a low star will fall in the meantime. I think in the end of the day, we need to move down this way. This is where we identified the clear terrain. Well, in fairness, I might as well just start planning for Singapore, but at least we build up that planning for Singapore. That'd make more sense. Right, the 143rd. You have AA here. I'd like... Again, this is actually covering... really nothing at the moment. So yeah, you need to move to cover Singora. Oh, how long would it take for you to march? That's at least 3 to 4 days. I'd say it would be a lot easier to just have them move strategically. And then at the end of the day, they're not going to be obviously taking as much wear and tear or fatigue. We'll have them move strategically to Singora. AA is going to be exceptionally important. Right, deliberate orders given here. Bombardment orders given here. Orders for the most part are already issued here. You're on your way to Ishang, where ideally you will make the difference. There are a bunch of Chinese forces obviously moving on to Ishang, as THG is seeking to actually destroy that force there. He's moving additional Chinese forces towards Chengchao, but we do have plenty of reinforcements on their way to Chengchao. Or at least to this area, I should say. These forces will be spreading out. Okay. We're sending forces to deal with the Chinese here. This one doesn't threaten me for the moment in time. Am I moving there? No, I can't. But we have all the forces that aren't doing anything pretty much in rest and training mode. Which is great. That AA could be actually handy elsewhere. Right, you're here now. Okay. Combat. Oh, you'll be moved to Fusan, aren't you? Well, you can move to Fusan instead. Yeah, we'll have them move to Fusan. We're only expanding Kizhou in the meantime, until Fusan's actually built up. So yeah, we'll have them move down there. Actually, just obviously give them a rest. These guys will move. They're going to move to Fusan as well. Very good, they're heading to Fusan. I think these forces will be welcome. At the end of the day, will obviously gives a boost to building up the port at Fusan. See, we have a lot of forces that are moving out of this area. I mean, look at all that artillery. They've got a long way to go to Anyang. But they'll make it in time. They'll start moving now shortly. We're not going to make any changes here. We've made changes here. I think we'll obviously change Karga Nakagi to be active as the others are. Was it they don't dive bomb if they're under 9,000 feet? Sorry, under 10,000 feet. I believe we're going towards the Jacks. I'm not entirely sure. I think we're going towards the Jacks. Well, the thing with China is, well, frankly, if somebody could answer the question on the dive bombing, I can't remember if it's below 10,000 feet they don't dive bomb. I can't remember, or is it over 10,000 feet they do? I'd like to actually find that information out. But yeah, as far as it goes with China, the only area that matters to me is this. That's only all that matters. What we're going to try to do is basically, I want to control this. This is all I need. This is where most of the actual benefit is. Of course, I'd love to take this area here, but that's very difficult. I'd like to obviously take this rail line and take control of here. Obviously, deal with the actual Burma Road, but that area there is the area I want. I don't see a forum link. I may be missing it, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. 2 messages above. No, I'm not seeing it. It may just be... 1 second. Okay, there we go. I made you a moderator now, so you should be able to post your link there. Yeah, if you want to try reposting your link there, Black Star. Ah, there we go. Now it's working. Ah, right, okay, so group altitude is 10 to 15,000 feet to dive and attack. Okay, that's great. That's good. Right, fantastic. Yeah, pretty much. Right, super, thank you. 10,000 feet. Yep, that's fine. 9,000 feet works fine. Have you at 7. There we go. We'll do the same over here, actually. Have some of the Vals out on search. Okay. Are we going to see any more Battlefield Gothic, or are you going to wait until Gothic 2 releases? We'll do some more Gothic, if you guys want some more Gothic. If you guys enjoyed that, then sure. I will obviously play Battlefield Gothic 2 as well when that arrives. I think as far as it goes, we're pretty much done. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else here. Should probably start expanding the HA60 production. And again, we already do have a decent amount of production. I don't think we'll need that much more. I don't think this engine's actually unlocked as of yet. Yeah, R&D. Okay. Can the J2M and the KI-84 actually take off a carrier? Let's take a look. Is J2M a fighter? Right, the J2M. It's not CV capable. Neither is a George. That's an ugly looking aircraft. Man, that's beautiful. Pretty decent armament. I suppose the A7M2 SAM would actually be the endpoint then, obviously for carrier fighters. Wouldn't it be great if we had one of these bad boys now? You know, actually that reminds me of something. The Ki-44 Tojo's actually participated in the attack on Hong Kong. Need to make sure they don't do that. I really love these guys. What do I do with them? They're 100% ready to go, which is nice. I'll have them moved out somewhere else in the future. For the time being, just have them on escort. Well, basically on training. I don't want them to actually join in the attack there. Okay. Right, here we go. This is where we can actually do something. We do have an additional 2 extra ships here. Yeah, I must have missed sending them back to Japan, actually. What I'll do then is actually take them. The A10 might be of use, actually, to be fair. Either way, we'll have them begin loading resources for the time being. The advantage of the SAM is that it uses the same engine as the Judies. And that's interesting, actually. A few over here, actually. Oh, right, they're docked. Okay. Undock. Of mixed. Then again, that may be due to loading or something else. Goes on. Aiden. Yeah, the goes that may need to be moved out. Right. Anyway, begin loading resources. Right, just make sure there's nothing else here that's really of any value. Nothing carrying any... Yeah, okay. So these guys are obviously here to load up. This will be good. Obviously, this is going to take a lot of resources back to Japan itself, and obviously we'll have all of these ships available for conversion should we choose to, obviously, other tasks should we need boats as well. I'll have these tankers start loading oil as well. But I'll focus on the resources first, because I don't want the actual rate slowed down. I don't know if it affects it I'd imagine it probably will do. There's a lot of ships there, and there's not a huge amount of actual support, so I imagine it can only deal with so much per, well, turn. Okay. Right, so we're loading all of the required ports, which is good. I think other than that, take a look at this light research. That's the A7M2 SAM. Probably want to actually send some more to that. Actually, what's the difference between the A7M2 SAM and the A7M3J SAM? So you're not CV capable. You do have a hell of an armament. Hell of an armament. Bloody hell, that's a big difference. Okay, well, yep, okay. We'll begin expansion here as well. Yeah, notice that amount of manpower. Right, that'll do. The M1K5? God damn it, don't tell me there's an alternative. Oh, you mean in terms of the actual... Right. Right, fair enough, that's fine. Ah. Which is the A6M8? I mean, that's nearly 1946, isn't it? Let's compare them. This is why you should always save before you make the exchanges, goddammit. Yeah, right. A7M2 is actually much faster. There's only a month apart. That does have the superior armament. 43 engine. Range is the same. Altitude is obviously higher here. Climb rate's higher here. Maneuverability higher. Speed higher. Both of them have armor. You have a service rating. Durability. Climb. I think the speed really makes the most difference. The J2M5. Yeah, again. Such a weird looking aircraft. It's almost like a Russian aircraft. But yeah, I think at that, we're pretty much ready to go. Does anybody have anything that you think I might have missed? I think we're ready to... This should pass the turn on, to be fair. We're planning for the attack on the Aleutians. Canton Island's underway. We redirected the Marie invasion to instead target Mersing. That invasion is going to be guarded. We've set up a few patrols in that area. We've moved our submarines. Kitabutai is going to move towards the expected location of the Lexington-class carrier. We've set up the transports to start loading resources. We've set up our movements in China for the most part. The Hong Kong force is set to bombard rather than assault. We have the is it Kotoburu? The Kotoburu force is set to deliberate attack. We've edited the moves of the Royal Thai Army divisions. One of them is instead going to head to Singona via rail. Our forces from Manchuria are going to head via rail into obviously China. We've got a decent amount of our engineers that are going to be heading to Sun instead. We're loading the division from Nagasaki. Okay. And basically, instead of going for the 0, 6, and 5, you can go for the Jag. It's a fair question, isn't it, really? Ship hunting with your planes, yeah, we've adjusted those movements. I mean, we do have our squadrons down here. D3M2s. We are set to naval attack. I think we'll set a couple of them to search. This might be why we're not finding anything with them, as I'm expecting them to actually go out there and find them themselves. So I guess we'll set that to... yeah. Do I want to be running at lower than 10,000 feet? Yeah. I think Dutch Harbour's manageable. I think we'd get the most bang for our buck there. Right, so we want them to actually attack 9,000 feet. Okay. We'll change that. There we go, nice. There we go, that's good then. So they should actually be out here. Probably, if I had these settings set up right, then we probably would have killed Forces E by now, but oh well. And maybe move the army forces from like coastal China cities, maybe some towards Hong Kong. We have the assets we need at Hong Kong, but it's not a bad idea. What we do have, we have armored forces over here at the Pescadores. We could have forces from Saigon moved over here potentially. These guys just take long to move anywhere. Obviously, it's fortress as well, so I can't do anything with them. I need them for the garrison. Can I break them up? I can't break them up. That's a shame. Ideally, we move some garrison forces here. I have a mixed regiment here, which obviously can't move anywhere. I should take these engineers, yep. Have them sent to Saigon. Ooh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nighttime sub-hunting. I think the issue is with some of these cities, we obviously still need the garrison. RGC, let's take a look. So these are obviously... yeah. Can't break that up. Okay. Yeah, garrison duty. In garrison. Yeah, I'd love to take the 102nd Regiment. We'll have forces moved here to obviously replace them and really allow them to move elsewhere. We know that there's Chinese forces down here in obviously southern China. We do need to be somewhat careful. But yeah, I think for the most part, we're pretty much done. Yeah, I know it's too bad, isn't it? Let's take a look. Has that changed at all? I wonder. Okay. May and July. We're now supposedly looking at February and April. That's not bad at all. That's actually going to save us some time, but yeah, I mean, that's saving us a few months. That's pretty great. That's actually really good. Okay, wow. That's great. That's really good news. We can expect you in May and April? No, sorry, February and April. November 42. March. Oh, 44, sorry. Oh, God, that's harsh, isn't it? We don't really gain any other carriers until much later. Aviation was nice. That armor's insane. Well, I mean, she doesn't really have that much deck armor. How does that stack up against the other carriers? Yeah, no wonder. Yeah, that's still better, isn't it? Okay. Well, that's good to know then. At least we can see that's actually going to work out quite nicely for us. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so... I really do think with that we have done everything we can here of this turn. Yep, okay. So yes, thank you. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please do consider supporting myself and the channel. It does make a big difference. And you know where you can find me again in the future. But yeah, I think turn 2 is pretty much ready to go here. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Like, if you actually post that as a comment, that'd be great. That would be great. Indeed, until next time, thank you and goodbye. See you again soon. A great day or evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Until next time.